Welcome, seekers of the wild, and welcome home to Faolán's path. Before we go anywhere today, I want to invite you into your body for just a moment. Not to meditate, not to change anything, just to notice. Notice your jaws, your shoulders, your belly. Many of us are holding tension there now. In traditional Chinese medicine, collective moments like this often show up as liver qi stagnation, pressure without movement, head with heart agitation where the spirit struggles to stay settled. You can feel it in the air lately. People aren't just disagreeing, they're bracing, scanning, preparing to defend something, often before they've had a chance to fully name what they're afraid of. This episode isn't about politics. This isn't about sides. And it isn't about convincing anyone of anything. It is about patterns, ancient ones, and what happens inside the human body and psyche when fear goes unnamed. Because when pain isn't metabolized inward, it doesn't disappear. It looks for a target. Across cultures and centuries, humans have repeated the same ritual in different forms. When fear rises beyond what a community can hold, someone or some group is chosen to carry it, the scapegoat. Sometimes this was literal, a body driven into exile, burdened with the sins of many. Sometimes symbolic, a group blamed for famine, disease, collapse, even moral decay. Scapegoating doesn't emerge because humans are cruel. It emerged because humans were overwhelmed. In the body, fear primarily lives in the kidneys, the system tied to survival, safety, and endurance. When kidney energy is shot or depleted, the system looks for certainty. So does a society. If danger can be located outside of self, the nervous system gets a moment of relief. But that relief is temporary because fear doesn't leave the system that way. It just relocates. So there's a story that repeats itself with haunting consistency. Someone grows up immersed in racial, national, or cultural hatred. They inherit beliefs framed in truth, loyalty, or even protection. Those beliefs give structure. They give the nervous system something solid to stand on. And then later in life, they take a DNA test. And they discover that the very people they were taught to hate exists inside their own lineage. This moment often breaks something open, not because of the genetics, but because of the realization. What have I been doing to myself? Hatred aimed outward never stays external. In the body, this often shows up as liver heat, anger turned inward, or spleen deficiency, where shame erodes self-trust and identity becomes fragile. This is one of the quiet truths we rarely say out loud. Dehumanizing others always dehumanizes the self first. You cannot deny humanity in one place without amputating it somewhere else. Projection is not a flaw. It's a survival skill. even a strategy. When something inside us feels too dangerous to face, fear, grief, rage, vulnerability, the psyche pushes it outward. That's not me, that's them. The problem isn't projection. The problem is when projection becomes identity. When someone is no longer a person, but a symbol, a threat, an enemy. In traditional Chinese medicine terms, this is often when the heart shen becomes unsettled. Empathy narrows, presence fractures, fear thrives there. Because fear doesn't want resolution, it wants reinforcement. Fear says, don't slow down, don't question, dig in, decide. But fear is not asking you to fight. Fear is asking you to become present. It's a signal, not a command. There's a point where pain stops asking to be seen and starts demanding release. This is where cruelty enters. Punishment begins to feel like justice. Humiliation feels deserved. Exile feels cleansing. But cruelty doesn't heal pain. It discharges it briefly while deepening the wound underneath. Accountability matters. Boundaries matter. Harm must be named. But scapegoating is not accountability. When harm is addressed without curiosity or context, it often becomes another form of violence, wearing a moral mask. In the body, chronic fear tightens the hips, blocks the diaphragm, and restricts breath. In the psyche, it narrows imagination. Rigidity is not strength, it's contraction. We talk about curiosity as courage, but no one teaches us how to find it, how to find it when fear is already online. Fear is fast, curiosity is slower, and curiosity does not arrive first. Curiosity arrives after fear feels witnessed. When fear hits, the body reacts quickly. A held breath, a clenched jaw, a braced belly. Curiosity doesn't ask you to undo that. It asks something much simpler. Can I stay with the sensation for 3 more breaths? Not to change it, just to notice. In traditional Chinese medicine, this moment supports the kidneys by borrowing steadiness from the lungs. Breath isn't calming here, it's orienting. Curiosity begins not with why, but with where. Where do I feel this? Where did my story speed up? Where did I harden? This is tracking, not introspection. And tracking tracking brings the nervous system back into the present moment, which is where fear was trying to take you all along. Fear loves certainty. Curiosity softens those edges. Instead of jumping from, I'm right, to tell me more, we take a smaller step. What might I not be seeing yet? That question doesn't threaten identity, it invites breath. Curiosity is not a thought first, It's a leaning forward, a softening of the eyes, a pause before reaction. Fear pulls back, curiosity leans in. That leaning, even 1 degree, is bravery. You can refuse to become the enemy. An enemy. This doesn't mean silence. It doesn't mean tolerance of harm. And it doesn't mean collapsing boundaries. It means refusing to let fear strip you of your humanity. You are allowed to have convictions and curiosity, boundaries and compassion, discernment and humility. These are not opposites. They are signs of a regulated nervous system and an intact spirit. As you move through your days, carry these questions, not to answer immediately, but to notice how your body responds. Where do I feel fear tightening in me right now? What happens to my breath when I encounter difference? Where am I tempted to harden instead of staying present? What question feels safer than wow in this moment? What would curiosity feel like in my body? Presence begins here. Fear will visit us. That is part of being alive. But fear doesn't need to become a weapon or a wall or an enemy-making machine. When we meet fear with presence, curiosity, and breath, it becomes information, not instruction. May you stay human in moments that invite you not to. May your body be a place of listening, not hardening. And may you remember, bravery doesn't always roar. Sometimes it asks a quiet question and waits. May the land ground you. May the stars guide you. And may the unseen always walk beside you. Until next time, walk gently, listen deeply, and trust the wild path that is always calling you home. This is Faolán's path, and you are never walking it alone.